Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike with Fowler Family Farm. I'm out here with the chickens. So I know a lot of y'all that have watched our previous videos have talked about one of the reasons our chickens aren't laying eggs. I'm going to give you my spill on all this. I know there's several videos going around already about this, and we're all allowed to have our own opinions about this. That's what makes us a community. We can kind of hash things out with each other and figure it out and see what's best for each of us. Let me give you guys a quick backdrop of my chickens, okay? I ordered these chickens in May, or I'm sorry, I received these chickens in May. I ordered them in April, got them in May of 2022. So they're roughly 9 to 10 months old, right? So they should have already been laying, correct? I mean, everybody should agree with that. The only problem is I thought maybe they would be postponed a little bit from laying because of winter, fall, you know, the days are shorter. And then on top of that, I kept them in my coop right here, the barn behind me, because I lost quite a few of them from predators. So I decided to move them out of their original coop into the barn, keep them more protected. And I thought maybe that could slow their egg production down as well. Well, I never received eggs from them whatsoever. No eggs at all until last week. I received 5 eggs. We think that was an accumulation of maybe 2 or 3 different days, several different chickens laying eggs. But then since then, we haven't gotten any. Again, we're back to getting none. I do know during that period of time where we received 5 eggs was my days off, 6 days in a row, and I fed them extra. I fed them some mealworms. I fed them some scraps. So they had extra protein. They had extra food, nutrition. So that could have been what sparked a few of the chickens to lay. I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that's what it was. And then I went back to my 8 days on, no eggs. I didn't actually feed them any extra on my 8 days on. I didn't feed them any of the mealworms. I didn't feed them any of the table scraps. So the lack of protein there could have been the reasons why they didn't keep laying, you know. Or is it just winter? There was one day in my 8 days that they didn't even get to come outside. We just left them penned up, which the pen's big enough for all of them. There's only 8 hens and a rooster. That pen's 16 by 16. That's pretty good size for that amount of chickens. But still, I'm at the belief that instead of my hens laying at 9 months, they should have started laying way sooner than that. Yeah, there's no reason for them to start laying at 9 months. They could have at least been laying at 6 months. We have a friend of ours that ordered chickens the same time we did, similar chickens. She started getting eggs back in October, and she hasn't stopped. She does not feed them what I feed mine, and we'll get to that here in a minute. She feeds her chickens Purina, high protein feed. I feed my chickens Tractor Supply brand, Producer's Pride, 16% layer feed. I know there's been a lot of concern about the Producer's Pride laying pellets, and I don't know if they're the cause of this or not, but I am going to do my own test, and I started 3 days ago. Today's day 3 of the test. Day 1, I'll put that video in that I shot. I'll put it in right here. Okay, y'all, today is day 1. We're going to try this. I have 5 more days off this week, or 5 days in a row, so I can test this for 5 days. So I did find out that what happened is we got 5 eggs, and I thought we got more than that, but what happened is Tanya only collected 3 and left 2 for Rhineland to collect the next morning for a video. So I thought we got 5 plus 2 more. Well, we didn't. We only got 5. I do know during that time period I ran out of chicken feed, and I fed them table scraps and 1 scoop of this, and then the next day I fed them table scraps. So if this theory is right, and people are saying that the feed that like Producer's Pride feed, if it doesn't have the right amount of protein in it, or it's lacking something, maybe they won't lay. Maybe they stop laying. I'm curious. I just want to see, because these hens should have been laying a couple of months ago, maybe 3 months ago. And I'll talk more about that here in a minute, but let's go feed them. I've already got them out. I haven't looked for eggs. So if there's eggs, the experiment stops right here, because that means they are producing with the normal chicken feed, the stuff we get from Tractor Supply. All right, that's quite a bit of feed. Oh gosh, here comes Stompy. I guess there's some leftover feed right here because they're going to town right here, and I don't even feed them here. So I guess maybe they're finding bugs. All right, no egg. I don't think we're gonna find any. I always check the ground too, because new hens may lay on the ground. Nope. Okay, so there's no eggs in here. There's no eggs in the nesting box. There's no eggs in their actual coop itself. So we're gonna give this a good go. A lot of the stuff I've watched talks about how they think they're adding something to keep the hens laying. I would think it would probably be more on the side of they're not adding what they're supposed to add, like protein. They're not adding all the protein. They're skimping on the protein. They're trying to save money by not putting all the protein they're supposed to be putting in there. And I will tell you, the Producer's Pride bag of chicken layer feed I've got right now, it does look different than it did last year. It looks darker colored. It doesn't look the same color. Okay, so after day one, we got busy yesterday, which would have been day two. Family was out here. I was visiting with my grandson, not even a year old yet. So I didn't actually shoot any video, but I did come out here and feed them the same. Checked for eggs. There were still no eggs on day two. And today's day three. So we're going to go in and check for eggs. I have not checked yet. One thing I do want to make clear is since I started the test, these chickens have been out since 7 o'clock in the morning, and I let them go in at dark, and then I shut the door after them. So they're out as long as possible during the daylight. So there's no reason why accumulation of lack of sun would be the reason. Now it is cloudy today, and I'll get to the weather here in a minute. But even if your hens slow down during winter because of lack of sun, they'll still lay every 2 or 3 days, at least an egg. They'll get that 13, 14 hour of sun accumulation. So let's go in and see if we have any eggs. And here's my hen that keeps getting out. It's the same one. She's the smarty pants. She knows where the hole is. I'll get to my bags of feed here in a minute. Okay, you girls give me any eggs? I'm thinking the two leghorns, this one and that one over there, are the ones that gave us eggs because they were white eggs. And I think the other, I'm not sure about Barred Rock. I can't remember what color they lay. I think it's brown. But I know the other chickens lay brown eggs. So the only white eggs I should get, which is all we got were white eggs, were most likely from the leghorns. It's kind of dark in here, so I'm not sure y'all will be able to see, but yeah, no eggs. Y'all can't, there you go, no eggs. Yeah, no eggs, no eggs. So again, no eggs on day three. If I don't get eggs by day 4 or 5, it probably has nothing really to do with the type of food or the protein that I'm doing. It's just winter, not enough sunlight. But I'm going to continue to do my test. I'm going to figure this out. I should be getting eggs. For some reason, I'm just not getting any. And on top of that, they laid so late. By the way, for y'all that follow us all the time, I did build a new roost in here. So they have plenty of space now to roost. All 8 of the chickens are right here at night. So the rest of this is not even being used yet. What do you think, Donald? Is it you? Are you keeping them from laying? Could it be you? Okay, so let's get to the feed. This is what I feed our chickens every year. So we have had chickens for going on 6 years now, and I've always fed that same feed. Actually, when they're babies, I don't feed that, but when they are old enough to start laying, that's what I feed them, and that's what I've always fed. And I've never had an issue with egg production. I've never been short on eggs. I'll get the typical slowdown during winter and molt and stuff like that, but nothing drastic. What's got me worried this year is that these hens never did start laying. They should have been laying back in October for sure, and they weren't. They didn't lay in November. They didn't lay in December. They laid 5 eggs last week, and now they're not laying again. So it's been almost 10 days since we've gotten any egg. And we only got 5, and we got them all in the same day, which is probably a 2 or 3 day accumulation, like I said earlier. But we haven't gotten any since. So is it this feed? Did they change something up in this feed? I'm not really sure. I have my suspicions. I do believe that companies will kind of change ingredients if they have to save money or to produce the same amount of money. You know, they're in the business of making money. If they're used to this amount of profit every month, they're going to have, you know, they're probably going to do what it takes to keep that same amount of profit. So if they have to change their ingredients, they probably will. Now, at the same time, it could just be the simple fact that our grass is not as nutrient rich as it used to be because of the big drought we had this past summer. There's so many factors that could go in play with this. I'm not sure I can rule out just a single type of food. It could be the food, so that's why I am switching things up. But it's on day 3, and I would suspect by day 4 I should get an egg. I really would. If I've changed things up, they're getting way more protein. I wouldn't think it would take a week. I would think 3 to 4 days would be adequate for egg production, because they're going to get that, you know, that amount of sunlight they should get in that 4th day. So now let me show you what I've switched to for now, and then I'll probably change it after about 7 days. So I watched several videos where they say to just change your protein. So I do have this starter grower feed that I've had when I started some different chicks. It's 20%. It's still good. It looks very good. Let me show you the difference between. I want to show you this coloring. They look hungry, but I can do this all day long and they'll still eat, just like this. This little girl wants in. Let me try to get her in real quick. There you go, girl. Now let me show you the 16% layer feed from Tractor Supply. So there's the 16% from Tractor Supply. Here's the coloring of the other stuff. This is called crumbles. And this is called mini pellets. It's definitely darker. They'll still eat it. They don't have any problem eating it. They've always ate it. So this is day 3, like I said earlier, and the previous 2 days and today, all I've fed them is the starter grower, the 20% protein. So they're getting at least 20% protein from their feed, plus I'm feeding them, like I said, mealworms and table scraps again, which I have not done any table scraps today. I need to get that done today too. They've got plenty of water. I've changed pretty much all the variables I can change to see if I get any different outcome. If my outcome's not any different, I'm gonna have to rule out feed, the 16% layer feed. I'm gonna have to rule that out as the problem. It's probably gonna come back to the fact that it's just fall and winter. It's just a bad time. And then I'm gonna have to add things into it, like in the past, fall and winter, I've slowed down in egg production, but never went empty, like where there were no eggs. So if I still don't get eggs after changing their protein, they're still outside. They're free range. Technically, they're free ranged. I mean, they're inside this pen, this fence, but that's plenty of space. The only thing I can go back on is we had such a hard summer. Maybe the grass that they're eating is just not as nutrient rich, because they eat a lot of this grass. I mean, they will peck at this grass. And when they were out in the coop and their run and all that area over there, the grass was just not very rich in nutrients. This will be the finish of this video, but not the finish of my test. I am aware that things can definitely change in this product, and that could be the problem. It really could be the problem. I hope not, because the price of this feed is $14.99, which is $5 more than it used to be. The starter grower feed is $22.99. Now I did buy I did go to Atwood's and buy a different feed also. I'm going to show you that next. I think it's 18%, and it's $15.99, so that's not too bad. I could pay the $15.99 and get an 18% feed. Okay, so this is the other bag I just bought yesterday at Atwood's. Ranch Pro. And it doesn't say meat bird on it, but that's because of the protein intake. I'm sorry, I said 18 birds. This is a 22% protein. So that's my next bag I'm going to use. This bag I have here will probably last another 3 days of the 20%. If that doesn't work, then 20% is not enough. Then something else is probably the problem, but I'm still going to switch over to this 22% and see if it works out. I hate to go to no eggs, you know, this long. I mean, it's just, this is the longest we've gone without eggs. Now, granted, part of it's just simply because they were young and they weren't able to give us eggs yet, but they should have been giving us eggs for the past probably 2 to 3 months at least. And like I was saying earlier, just 5 eggs is all we've gotten. And that was all at once. Okay, so my last video, I got quite a few comments of switching the bag of feed, the type of feed I've been using. And I did that because before I even put that video out, I had already found all this other information about maybe it's the feed that you're giving your chickens. So I had already switched. And I had even already watched a couple of different videos of other homesteaders going through the same issue. And I'm realistic. I do know that chickens, you know, hens will slow down during winter. They will definitely slow down. I'm aware of that. Like, we would go from when we had like 25 hens giving us eggs every day. In the winter, we would go down to like 6 to 8. That would be normal. And we're okay with that. We knew that was going to happen, you know, and then by early March, your production went up, and by midsummer, it was at its peak, you know, and you're used to that. But to get none, and then to start laying, and then to stop all of a sudden again, and nothing's changed really, something's up. So I'm going to figure it out. I'll let you guys know. Just keep watching. There'll probably be another video in a week or so giving you another update on this, letting you know if any of this feed has actually changed the outcome of our egg production. And yes, it is very cold out here. That's why I'm wearing this. I've got a lot of chores to do today. Just holding this phone right now, my hand's freezing. It's 30 degrees. It's Sunday. Right now is the warmest it's going to be over the next 2 days. I think the high tomorrow is 29. The high Tuesday is 28, and the lows are like right at 20-ish, 20, 21, I think, maybe. We're supposed to get a lot of, we have a good chance of a lot of ice accumulation over the next 2 or 3 days. So hopefully it stays south of us and gets Texas and not us. Texas, you know, they're used to getting a beating, so they can take it. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. Don't take it personal. I was just joking. I will give updates again on another update video on this, let you know how it goes. We'll see you guys on the next video. Remember, do the good.
Come on.